Everyone knows ChatGPT. It's a household name now. But do you know how OpenAI, the company who made ChatGPT, actually makes money? And more importantly, why it's still not profitable, despite arguably being the world's most famous AI company? Let's rewind a little. OpenAI was founded in 2015 as a non-profit research lab. Its mission to build artificial general intelligence safely and make sure it benefits everyone. Back then, it was funded by donations from names like Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and Reid Hoffman. But here's the catch: training cutting edge AI models isn't cheap. We are talking tens, even hundreds of millions of dollars per model, plus massive computing infrastructure. In 2018, OpenAI realized it couldn't keep up with giants like Google and Microsoft as a pure non profit. So in 2019, OpenAI created a special structure, a capped profit subsidiary called OpenAI LP. That allowed them to raise outside money while still limiting investor returns to a cap. Microsoft quickly came in with a $1 billion investment, and that move turned OpenAI into a serious commercial player. Fast forward to today, ChatGPT has over 100 million weekly active users, and according to Sam Altman, 92% of Fortune 500 companies use OpenAI's products in some form. But if you think that means the company is already profitable, well, not quite. Let's break it down. So, how does OpenAI actually make money? The first stream of revenue is subscriptions. Millions of users around the world pay for premium ChatGPT plans. Pricing depends on the tier and region, but generally, subscribers get access to more advanced models, priority access during peak hours, and faster responses. This is recurring consumer revenue, similar to Netflix or Spotify, but instead of movies or music, you are subscribing to artificial intelligence. And it's not just text. ChatGPT Plus now bundles in tools like Dolly for image generation and Whisper for speech to text transcription. These aren't just add ons, they are hooks that make the subscription more valuable and in turn more profitable for OpenAI. The second stream is B2B. Companies integrate OpenAI's models into their own apps through the API and pay based on usage. For example, Duolingo uses GPT-4 for advanced language learning features. Stripe integrates OpenAI for fraud detection and customer support. Even Khan Academy has built an AI tutor on top of GPT-4. Nowadays, entire startups are being built on OpenAI's API, from AI writing assistants to coding copilots, and yes, even GitHub Copilot itself, which is used by millions of developers, was initially powered by OpenAI's Codex model. OpenAI even has Sora, its new text-to-video tool, which could open the future API revenue as businesses start generating ads, training material, or creative content on demand. In other words, OpenAI isn't just selling text models, it's selling a whole suite of AI capabilities: text, code, images, speech, and video. And now let's discuss about the third stream, the most fascinating part. OpenAI has a deep, multi-billion-dollar partnership with Microsoft, and yes, you heard that right. Microsoft's Copilot in Word, Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, and even Teams is powered by OpenAI's models. Think about it. When a manager asks Excel Copilot to analyze a dataset, or a student drafts an essay in Word with Copilot, they're actually using GPT models in the background. Here's how it makes money for OpenAI. Microsoft bundles Copilot into its enterprise software plans, charging businesses extra for productivity boosts. Every Copilot subscription sold means more usage of OpenAI's models, and OpenAI earns through this partnership. On top of that, OpenAI's models are available via Azure, Microsoft's cloud platform, where enterprises can buy access directly. This gives OpenAI two things it could never achieve alone: global enterprise distribution and recurring enterprise class revenue. This three-pronged model works well for several reasons. Firstly, recurring subscriptions create a predictable cash base. Second point is what we call enterprise stickiness. Once a company integrates OpenAI into its workflows, stripping it out is painful. Third point is the developer ecosystem. Startups building on OpenAI are like indirect sales agents spreading adoption. Next is brand power. ChatGPT is practically a household name, something competitors like Anthropic or Cohere don't have. And finally, let's not forget, having Microsoft's backing gives OpenAI enormous infrastructure advantages. But this isn't all smooth sailing. OpenAI faces big challenges. These include, but are not limited to, the following: massive costs. Running large AI models requires huge computing power. Every query uses GPUs in the cloud. Margins are much thinner than people think. Next, we have cash burn. Training GPT-5 or GPT-6 isn't just expensive. It costs billions in compute, research, and talent. To complicate things further, we have fierce competition in the industry. Google's Gemini, Anthropic's Claude, Meta's open source models, and countless others are catching up fast. Some are even free. Another risk is OpenAI's dependency on Microsoft. OpenAI relies on Azure for hosting and distribution. That gives Microsoft enormous leverage. Next, we have regulatory challenges. Governments are drafting AI safety laws. On top of that, publishers and artists are suing over the data used to train these models. And finally, there is always a possibility of consumer churn. Will individuals keep paying for premium ChatGPT plans long term, or will cheaper and open source alternatives lure them away? So, where does this leave OpenAI financially? Despite generating billions in annual revenue, OpenAI is still not profitable. The cost of scaling AI is just too high right now. According to reports, the company doesn't expect to break even until later this decade, around 2029. That's the trade-off. Invest billions today to grab market share and hope that future AI dominance makes it worthwhile. The big strategic question is, will OpenAI evolve into the consumer product company competing with Google Gemini directly in the app market, or will it lean more towards being a platform provider, quietly powering thousands of other businesses behind the scenes? So let's summarize. OpenAI makes money through three main channels: subscriptions, developer APIs, and enterprise partnerships with Microsoft. But layered on top are its other tools: Dolly, Whisper, Codex, Sora, which expand its ecosystem and give it more ways to monetize AI beyond text. It has brand power, massive adoption, and diversified income, but it also faces huge risks, enormous costs, rising competition, dependence on Microsoft, and regulatory hurdles. And despite its revenue growth, it's still not profitable, with profitability expected only years down the line. So what do you think? Will OpenAI's strategy pay off and make it the Google of the AI era? Or could faster, cheaper competitors eat its lunch? If you enjoyed this breakdown of tech plus business, like this video and hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.